Very special boy. At first, it's just a story I'm telling myself. As I kick pebbles off the cliff's edge and watch them drop the 15 feet to the creek below, I imagine a fall that would be just bad enough to break something, but not so bad as to break something that couldn't be healed. I only need to tip myself forward, and soon Mom will be tending to my mangled body, gasping as she frets over my cracked whatever. The fall alone will be enough to scare her out of the silent treatment she's been giving me all day, after an argument over the mess in my bedroom ended with me informing her that if anyone had an attitude problem here, it was her. But if I actually manage to snap something, she'll be good and sorry. "I'm so sorry, Steph," she'll wail. "I never should have given you the silent treatment." In the hospital, she'll spoon-feed me Jell-O cubes, and we'll watch game shows together all day long, and we'll be as happy as we used to be. I shuffle forward, the toes of my sneakers poking out over the edge. Below, masses of algae sway their alien green hair in the slow current of Coyote Creek. All along the cliff top, live oaks hold up their gnarled, leafless arms. No, I decide, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to throw myself off a cliff just so Mom starts talking to me again. Instead, what I should maybe do is throw myself halfway down the cliff. But even as my palms burn around a rope I've tied to a tree, even as I lower myself to just past the halfway point, I'm still thinking this is just a kind of pretend I'm playing. I'll just climb down the rest of the way and walk home. But then, for a sharp second, there's the thought of what home will be like. Mom still silent to me behind her closed door. Aaron busy with video games, Dad working out in the backyard. A lonely Sunday afternoon in my room, stretching impossibly far ahead of me. It makes my eyes sting with sudden and furious tears, and then there's an awful weightless second when I'm not sure if this is still a story at all, if this is all still pretend. I'm even still wondering if I could actually have been dumb enough to do this thing when a bright burst of white takes that thought out of my head. The smack of hard rock empties the air from my lungs. And now I'm thrashing around on the limestone like something that's just been hooked out of the water. Terrible seconds pass. My heart is a riot inside me, and my throat only croaks when I try to draw air. At last, in an icy gasp, my lungs painfully inflate, and soon I can breathe as normal. And that is when I sit up to realize that what has happened has in fact been the worst of all outcomes. Despite getting the wind knocked out of me, I seem to be perfectly fine. The only record of my fall is a small bruise on my elbow, but I'm not about to walk away from this thing empty-handed. I give the elbow a good whack against a jutting tree root, and then I whack it again. It's only when I see that I've brought some blood to the surface that I run home. Minutes later, I hold the arm tight against my chest and tear in through the front door, sobbing. Mom, however, is on the phone, and she shows me a stern finger when I come into her room. A half hour later, once she's finished with her call, my performance has lost some of its motivation. I can hardly squeeze out a couple crocodile tears. "Can you move it?" Mom asks. "Not really," I say. She takes my arm in both hands, bends the elbow for me. "Ow!" I sound like such a faker, it almost makes me giggle. "I know what's going on here," Mom says. "I think you want it to be broken." I say nothing. "And I know why," she adds. "It's school. You're hoping you don't have to go to school tomorrow." "Yeah," I say. "I guess so." "Jesus, Steph." She shakes her head. "I shouldn't be mad at you for the way you've been acting out lately. I should feel bad that you have to go to that awful place every day." "It is pretty terrible," I say, pleased at how my relief has renewed the proper flow of my tears. Mom kisses my forehead. "I know that feeling. I know what it's like to be a kid and to feel so stuck," she says. "But never forget, Steph, that unlike me, you have someone to actually fight for you. Someone who won't just trust the so-called professionals that you're better off locked away someplace all day, basically screaming for help." Mom glances over at the homework papers I've left on the table. She flips through the pages of blanks I must fill in, the A, B, C, or Ds I must circle.